some fuck with my piece. Yeah, please some fuck with that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Certified Vets Podcast. I'm your co-host T. To my left, I got
Riley.
And as always, Duke De Niro.
And John on the tech side.
Yeah, today we're just going to bring you some personal experience, just because we're going to talk a little bit about money, business, 9 to 5s, and all that good stuff. So, I'm looking at my man Riley right now, and I know...
I hate going first.
You hate going first? You want me to start somewhere else, or you good?
No.
You good? So we're going to talk about 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship, right? Mm-hmm. And in our community, it seems like a lot of people are pushing the narrative of entrepreneurship. Right? But we all know that entrepreneurship's ain't for everybody. But I want to hear your perspective of how does a 9 to 5 feel to you and its worth to the community, and also its pros and its cons, right? Now I'll ask everybody else too, but let's start with you.
Listen, man, 9 to 5 is slavery, bro. It is modern day slavery. Honestly, it's, to me, I treat it like a jail sentence, man. I'm just trying to do my years, save whatever little piece of change that I have, and then and hopefully one day be able to say fuck it and do whatever the hell I want to do.
Hold on, are you doing a Hail Mary until you're 65?
No. We're gonna talk about that later in regards to like investing and stuff. No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not here trying to be working till I'm 65, but no, 9 to 5. For me, it's just a necessary evil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the end of the day, am I in something that I enjoy doing and that I grew up thinking that I was going to be doing? Absolutely not. But does it pay the bills? You know, does it provide me a certain lifestyle in regards where I could, travel, go with my buddies, have dinner, things like that? Yes. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So there's pros and cons. Obviously, the pros being that financial stability, knowing you're gonna get a paycheck every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But the cons are, like they say, try to find something that you love, because if you don't find something that you love, it just feels like work.
Yeah, you'll be stuck in the matrix.
Yeah, man. And this 9 to 5 life. For me, it's not even 9 to 5. It's like 9 to 9 because I work 2 jobs. You know what I mean? So
the
so
hustle is real.
So it's tough, man. It's tough. How about you, man?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I've been working since I was 17, and I guess at the time I wasn't really saving much, so the 9 to 5 thing was a good crutch. Where I got to the point now where I'm saving a lot more and trying to invest more in my music abilities, because I'm a producer, so I'm trying to branch into that. But having to work 9 to 5, it doesn't allow me enough time to focus on my professional career. So that I would say is one of the cons. But it's good to at least, because I'm a person who likes to have many sources of income open all at once. So that's a pro when having a 9 to 5. But as far as the cons, it doesn't allow me enough time to really focus more on my professional career as a producer. So, yeah.
How about you guys? Because you guys are, you're a little bit different, T.
So I'm more of a hybrid. Well, I want to hear John say, what's your take on the whole 9 to 5 corporate or whatever realm?
I agree with Jason. 9 to 5 is like a slavery thing, because you're on the job shift. You see your brethren in the morning. You greet them, while going, everything blessed. But supervisor comes, hey, let's get to work, guys. And it's just like, what the hell is this? It's like you can't even greet your brethren. You know what I mean? You can't even greet your brethren on the job, yo.
Me and him used to work at the same spot, and there was a TL G. You know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, we would be in the grids, man. And this one particular area that we were, there's like bare Jamaicans working there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like that. So. Obviously you always trying to have a 1-2 joke, stuff like that. And then, he would come in and, hey, so I'm like, yo, bro,
stop the plantation.
Get off the plantation, bro. Let's get a little 1-2 breaks in. Listen, we always compare it to like slavery. Obviously, we're not talking about,
picking cotton.
Yeah, the real slavery of back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Don't get me wrong, man. I've been working since I was. My first job was 14 years old, I think it was. And I've been working ever since 9 to 5. And from manual labor to trade to corporate, if you want to call it. And I'll say this, it's not for everybody, but everybody does it. Like people actually sit there and literally die every day they come into work, and they just sit there and they do the menial task every day. They get told what to do, by people sometimes that are not even as qualified as they are. And I could tell that it is a mental strain on your head top when you got to deal with, the pressures of corporate world. And I could tell you 100%, I hate it. And just like Riley said, right, if you are looking for a 9-to-5, two things I would say to consider big time outside of pay. Make sure you like what you're doing. And hopefully you get someone that you report into that is actually cool.
Yeah, because that can make a huge difference. Trust me.
Day and night, I'm telling you, bro, when you have somebody that understands you, like honestly, the times that I've worked with a black person that understands me, my work days seem less hard. But when I dealt with somebody, especially outside my race, or even if they were of my race, and they didn't give a shit. Like, yo, you're a minute late. What's going on? Oh, why is this not done the way I asked it 100%? Like, what, seriously? Or why are you not engaged? Why are you not cheerful? I'm like, what are you talking about, right? The whole stigma black men get when we're working in places, right? We're aggressive, we're not engaged, we're not motivated,
not
we're
punctual.
lazy, all that stuff, right? So if you come into work one day, you don't have a big grin on your face, it's the topic of the morning.
Right. Yeah.
What's wrong? Like, why are you not smiling? First of all, I'm not smiling because I have nothing to smile about.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, I came here to do some work. Don't get on my goddamn nerve, but you already did. So now I'm going to have a bad fucking day. Right? So to me, the 9-to-5 drive, it is slavery. But if you're going to get a job, my two things I'll say is make sure that you do something that you like. So if you like picking flowers and stuff like that, go do something like that. If you like working with your hands, find a trade, whatever the case may be. And the other part where you really can't help, but hopefully that you get someone that when if it's your manager, supervisor, boss, whatever the case may be, that they are cool in a sense where they're not going to stress you out, right? And if you're going to work, make sure you do the fucking work. Don't go in there being lazy and doing half-ass shit and then complain that you hate work when you're not doing the fucking work. Do the fucking work, right?
I just want to say, like, in terms of, like, for the young people, a lot of the job opportunities that you're gonna have is not gonna be jobs that you like. I think they need to develop a certain work ethic first thing and foremost before you become picky with the type of job that you want to do.
Yeah,
you got to do those hard jobs first to understand. Listen, okay, this is to appreciate. To appreciate once you get that good job,
and also build skill too, right? Because to work hard is a skill that you need to build.
Right.
A lot of people just go in there and think that they can just half-ass shit, or you're only going to really excel in your corporate world and also in your personal life is when you put 100% into something.
Yeah, man. Tough, man. The 9-to-5, like, again, especially if you're working in the corporate world, as a black dude, there's other factors too, right? Obviously, one, being in a role that you don't necessarily enjoy, but you have to do because you're looking to pay bills. But also the social aspect of that community, right? Like you said, if you're basically one or two black dudes. You're either the angry black guy who kind of keeps to himself, or you got to be the black dude. I don't say shucking and jiving, but out here. Hey, Tom, how's your weekend?
Shucking and jiving.
You got to be out there, big smile, busting jokes with everybody.
Shave off all your mustache and beard.
So hold on, you know what? Because I never worked in the corporate world. From the outside looking in, it seems like something that's easy. You just go sit down, all right, whatever you want. They want you to type up some shit, whatever. I don't know what corporate, know.
Yeah.
What? Explain to me why corporate work is hard for a black man.
Okay. Well, for myself, I think for the most part, it's dealing with other personalities.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for me, if it was just a situation where you come in, here's your task. Do your task, and you don't have to deal with nobody.
And be left alone, exactly.
And be left alone, do your work, and that's it.
Right.
Like if I was an IT man, I come in, program 1-2 computers, bomb, and then I'm away. That's one thing. But when it's another aspect, when it's another situation when you have
clients.
To deal, and not necessarily even with clients. Clients, I'm okay with.
I'll sum it up.
But pardon?
Politics.
Yeah, dealing with the different type of politics in regards to some of your peers. Some of your, your higher ups, your supervisors, dealing with their personality, some of the way, I guess some of their unconscious bias on how they view
Say that HR term again.
Yeah, unconscious bias on how they view, me as a young black male. You know what I mean? Like we said, they probably look at us for the most part as lazy, don't know what to do, et cetera, et cetera. We got a lot more hurdles to jump, I think, than anybody else in the in any other community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are some of the. It's not as easy as coming in,
So
typing a 1-2 thing.
I worked corporate and I worked also trade and physical labor and stuff like that. And it's like physically it's not taxing at all. But people don't realize that if your mental's messed with, it's worse than physical taxing.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Because that stuff turns into stress, which affects your physical. You see what I'm saying? So I'll go to work. I got long hair. Not long as yours, but I got a hairstyle where, other races will be like, oh my God, this is interesting. Right? And you'll be sitting in a boardroom.
With the beard.
With a beard.
The beard.
And I remember being in a meeting, a one-on-one with my director one time. And I work in the financial industry. And she goes, look at you. And I had like a frohawk at the time. They're like, you don't look like you're serious to come to work. It looks like you're ready to go party on a Friday night. I'm like, that's the first thing you came into your fucking head?
That shit would piss me off.
And there's one time I took out my twist and I had my hair out. And my hair was curly as crap, but it was large, right? And they're not used to seeing that. The man goes, oh my God, look at you. You look like Sideshow Bob. I was like,
you want a roast?
Yo, physically, all you heard was this in my fist. My fist was clenched, ready to knock him out. But I'm in a corporate world where you can't do that, right? If you work at, when I worked at Loomis and packing trucks and stuff like that, you probably could drip up a man in a skid in a trailer, and no one could find out, right? So I can't do that at this time.
There's many times where you have to bite your tongue.
You have to bite your tongue, and that right there is a stress, right? It's like we have to sit there, lie, change who we are, can't say certain things, can't be too loud because now we're very threatening, and it's like you're suppressing who you are. And that's a mental stress that if you deal with that on a day-to-day basis, you're going to hate going to work every day, right?
Listen, me and you, like I said, me and him used to work at a warehouse together. And I actually enjoy going into that spot more than my other spot, which is the corporate world. Because of that, I just go into that spot. I just do my own thing. You know what I mean? I go like in the warehouse. Go in. I do my own. I'm responsible for my own work. I'm able to bust 1-2 jokes with a lot of people that look like me.
Yep.
And not even necessarily that look like me. There's other people that are from other races, but we're all in the same personality. Like we know what the grind is. We can still have fun. We can still joke around and do our job.
Yeah.
Where again in the corporate world, you got to be careful in regards to certain things that you say because they'll be afraid of you or HR issues, etc.
Yeah, next thing you know, you get like an email.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
and so said this, and I felt threatened.
Yeah. So I felt like I could be myself more at the warehouse job, and mentally I've been more happy at that place than
sitting at a desk.
Corporate world.
Yeah. And it's not to say that he's not doing the work at the warehouse. He's doing work. It's just that he could be himself and do the work.
Yeah, I could bust a joke with the managers, and I don't have to worry about any.
And not think in the back of your mind, am I saying the right thing? Right.
Yeah, because and you could probably back me up on this. When you're in the corporate world, and you're talking to certain individuals, and it's majority of the individuals, you have to gauge them first before you even have a conversation with them. Right. Because sometimes they're fake as hell.
Right.
How many times people ask you how was your weekend?
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck, but they're programmed to say that because it's a corporate, like, how you doing? How was your weekend?
Right.
What did you do?
Right.
You don't want to know what I did on the weekend. Because I really told you what I did on the weekend, you'd be like, wow, fuck you.
Why is someone like that working here?
That's what, Jesus Christ, I didn't know that happened here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's tiring to put on a face and going into corporate world because it's like, I'd rather go and do physical labor than go in there and mentally hide shit just because someone is too sensitive. I remember one time I said something. We were coming up with a campaign, and I can't remember the word I used, but someone freaked out and said, oh, my God, that's too aggressive. I said, what?
Yeah.
A word is too aggressive. Are you serious? And they made it a big issue where we had to change the entire face of the campaign because of one word was too aggressive for this one person.
What was the word? The N-word?
Definitely wasn't the N-word. We'd have definitely been fighting in that boardroom. Right? I play it. But, it's like one word one person had an issue with, changed the entire face of it.
And
When they're mostly communicating to people that are like us, right? They're gonna look at that word, not see it as aggressive, and say, okay, whatever the case may be.
Right.
But it's so, and it's like walking on eggshells from 9 to fucking 5.
yeah. And for
that's
me,
why I hate it.
and that's one of the reasons why I've stayed away from like leadership roles in that kind of
You
environment.
ain't a leader, nigga. Oh, sorry.
Because I'm the type of person who has no filter, and I don't like being spoken to a certain way. And I know in those positions you have to bite your tongue. And the way I see it, if I know if I'm not doing the job that if I'm not doing it the way you want me to, there's a certain way you can tell me how to do it. Sometimes in these managers, how they talk to people, they feel like you're their bitch. And
Yep.
I'm the type of person where you can't talk to me like that. I don't care who you are. So for me, I'd rather just avoid that and just stick to a job where I do like what Jace, like what you were saying earlier, where I just have this to do and I don't have to worry about anybody else
Yeah.
telling me how
Just
to do this and that.
Strictly task based.
Because I know when you get those TL jobs, you really have to, and I understand it comes with the territory. You have to accept that because it's part of the role. So for me, I just avoided that because I have no filter and I don't like being spoken to a certain way. And in those roles, you get spoken to a certain way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, for you two, you Duke and UT, you guys have another route that you guys are trying to go to, which is the entrepreneurship route. So,
Right.
Tell us some of those pros. Because, like for myself, I don't really have the entrepreneurial spirit. Right now, anyways. So, tell me again, what inspired you guys to go that route? What's the pros and cons, and go from there.
All right. So the pros for me is that there's no financial ceiling as to how much money you can make.
Right.
Because when you're working a 9-to-5 job, it doesn't matter how much hours you put in. You're screwed regardless because you could only make a certain amount. Whereas if you're an entrepreneur, you can make as much money as you want based on how much work you're putting into, or how much you're investing into your worth, right? So for me, that's one of the biggest pros. The cons is trying to balance the two, because obviously you want to spend more time focusing on your business and not so much the 9-to-5. So how I do it is I use the money that I make from my 9-to-5, some of it, and invest it into my online marketing, basically.
Okay, cool. OUT.
So for me, the pros, and again, right, we're starting out on this entrepreneurial journey. To me, is I'm trying to buy back my time, right? Like when you say 9-to-5, they own you from 9 to 5. Be in this office, nigga,
By
at
9
9
o'clock.
a.m. Don't you come later, or I'm gonna write you up and make your day a living hell.
Right.
Where are you going at 4:30? You got 30 minutes left on this clock. Sit your ass down, nigga, and do the work that I tell you to do. I don't like that, right? Vacation. When you get a new job, how much vacation weeks do you get?
I think you get 2 weeks.
Yeah, about that.
2 weeks out of
2 weeks,
365 days.
Right.
Yeah.
They're allowing you to step aside. Where on the entrepreneurial side, when you buy back your time,
Go anytime you want.
go anytime you want, but you still work there because why? It's for you. You're not working for somebody else.
Right.
You're not making the boss richer each and every year.
You're not elevating someone else.
So for instance, Riley, what do you think the bonus is in your company for someone that's a senior vice president? What's their bonus for annually?
Senior vice president? Oh man, I don't know, 6 figures for sure.
For a bonus, right?
I would think so. Senior? Yeah.
See, that is just ridiculous. That, you know what I'm saying, that you're working for somebody to make them a 6-figure bonus,
Right.
and you don't even make that in your salary.
Right.
But you have the potential to make something where you, doesn't even if you're not even making 6 figures. You could be making 50 grand a year,
Yeah.
but you're doing something that's not stressing you on that level,
And you're working towards that.
and you're working to make it even bigger and better. Or maybe you're comfortable with that 50,000 because why? You could travel, you could live in a different country where the cost of living is a lot less, right? Well, imagine you making $50,000 here in Canadian money, but you live in, let's say, Jamaica or Colombia or Dominican.
Yeah.
You're living way better than you would be living here 100% because you could probably buy a property down there compared to here. It's not happening, right? So that freedom of buying back your time. And the thing that I hate the most is when you're dealing with people in the corporate world, they don't know how to deal with black people, right? you sometimes get somebody that tries to infiltrate the black culture by trying to speak to you a certain way, which is the most tiring. I'm telling you, with the amount of people that ask me, can they touch my hair? I'm like, this person want to deaf us? Or do you have somebody that doesn't know how to speak to you, but they try to come to you with that urban talk?
Yeah, slang.
Like come on, man.
Just be yourself.
You don't know this type of life, so don't talk that type of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, right, the financial potential is a lot higher, right? And I think when you start to get into the entrepreneurship realm, you get to realize that the more that you can make money, it sets your mind free that there's other avenues that you can make money. So you actually proactively look to build other streams of income so you can get that type of lifestyle that you want. And for me, it's not even just the money, it's just the freedom. If I don't have to wake up at 7:30 in the morning to get to work by 9 o'clock.
Fuck, that's the best.
How many times, and I ask everybody in this room, you woke up and you're like, fuck.
That's me right now.
I gotta get there by X amount of time.
That's me right now.
So you gotta rush your ass.
Right.
You gotta drive frantically like John doing 150 on the 401 for no damn reason, just to get on work on time.
Hey, it's the 427.
You know what I'm saying? It's free up here. But to me, that is like, that's the ultimate goal for me, man.
Okay, but as entrepreneurs, don't you guys feel like you would be putting in more hours towards your business?
It's not about feel. You will.
You will be putting more.
There is no doubt about it.
Because when you have your own business, it's hands-on now.
Right.
You're in control of X, Y, and Z. It's not someone else doing it. It's you doing it now, right?
But I guess the difference is you actually enjoying what you're doing.
Exactly, because it's something that you wanted to do.
Right.
Well, hold on, wait. Let me rephrase that. I don't enjoy being the accountant. I don't enjoy being the lawyer. You know,
of your own company.
I don't enjoy it,
Gotcha.
but because it's for me, I take pride in it.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Gotcha.
the amount of stuff that you got to sacrifice, like, I deal with a lot. All my business I deal with in China, but I deal with companies in China. I can't deal with them from 9 to 5. They're on a 12-hour difference. So they're sending me messages 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 o'clock in the AM.
And you're already bust.
I'm sleeping. I have to wake up, hear the chime bell off, I have to get up and respond. Then we got to deal with a language barrier because they'll be saying something. It's like, what the fuck are you saying? Can you clarify that message for me, please? Yeah. Is it X amount of pounds or is X amount of dates? And then they clear it up. And you have to deal with that during the time that you're supposed to be resting. Right. So you will be sacrificing. And I'll tell everybody this. Just because people are on social media talking about entrepreneurship is the way, it doesn't mean it's for you. Right? Entrepreneurship is for a selective few.
You have to be passionate about it.
You have to. It's just like basketball.
Do you really think entrepreneurship is really for a selective few?
100%.
Yes.
I think entrepreneurship is for everyone. If I wouldn't say, well, for most people, a good portion of the people, if they were taught the fundamentals of entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? I don't think that not everyone's capable of entrepreneurship. I don't think, that's my opinion.
I think for the most part, anybody's capable of doing anything that they want. You know what I mean? Well,
to an extent.
Certain physical things you're just not going to be able to do, right?
You're not beating the same bolt if you're
you're not. Doesn't matter how much you try to train. If you weigh 120 pounds, you're not lifting 500 pounds. More than likely,
you're not doing
right?
a deadlift. You're not being a strong man.
But I think for the most part, anybody is, I guess, capable of being an entrepreneur. But there are certain traits that you have to have in order to be that. Like for myself, and I can tell you, for myself, why I haven't really ventured down the entrepreneurship lane. You gotta be really well organized,
committed.
Hold
on, stay on that organizational tip.
Yeah, you got to be really well organized when it comes to being an entrepreneur. For myself, I'll be very blunt. I am not an organized person.
His socks is with his drawers and his shirts under his shorts.
Like
that's what we call him, lean.
Yeah, everything's just lean in my world. But so I know for myself, like I could start it, but staying on task. If you got certain deadlines, you gotta
committing to it. Yeah.
It would be a struggle for myself right now.
Yeah.
Can I learn that skill?
Right.
I'm pretty sure I could learn that skill. But another thing is, I think the fear of the unknown is a big factor as well, right? Like it's the.
Let me do what those Toronto people do. Snap.
Do I give up, the security of this 9 to 5 job, which is decent paying, benefits, all that type of stuff.
It's a sacrifice that you should be willing to make, though.
Well, it depends on the person, right? Some people.
That's what he was saying. It's not for everybody.
But yeah, that's
So-
what I'm saying. So yeah. So anyways, so basically, sorry, lost my train of thought when this guy
Interrupted again?
rudely interrupted his nonsense. But
Oh my god.
but anyways, yeah, it's not necessarily for anybody. Like I said, with regards to the 9 to 5, the way I look at it as a prison sentence. You know what I mean? Now, I think for the most part, we've all been trained that you got to work a 9 to 5 until the age 65, and then you retire, and then you could enjoy your retirement.
So
enjoy
hold on,
life.
touch
Yeah.
on that trained part. What do you mean we've been trained?
Well, for myself, if we could talk a little bit about in financial literacy and investing, for the most part, anytime you hear any sort of retirement commercial or anything about retirement, I always remember the age 65 for whatever reason. I think that's even when like your pension from the government kicks in and all that type of stuff. So I think for the most part, in the back of all of our minds, we all realized that, okay, if you're gonna work until the age of 65, then you retire, and then you could kind of, I guess, quote unquote, enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
For myself, what I realized, I used to just, I don't know, again, I'm not somebody that likes to work the 9 to 5. I'm a guy that likes to travel. And to T's point, you know what I mean? You only get a certain amount of weeks a year to do that.
Right.
So I was just trying to figure out different ways in regards to how I could get out of this rat race. So you always used to come up on something called like financial freedom, or FIRE, financial independence, whatever. And basically it was just normal people. They weren't entrepreneurs or anything like that. Just normal people working 9 to 5s that were able to save a certain amount of their income and invest it in the market to where in the span of 10 years, they had enough where they were able to quit their jobs and actually retire at really young ages, like 40, you know, some are retiring at 30, you know what I mean? Because they committed to a certain amount of time frame, saved a certain amount, invested it, and went from there. So I think you could have, like, I don't want to sit here and say 9 to 5 is necessarily a death sentence and you can't enjoy life and you can't actually buy your freedom per se. But you got to understand what you're doing with your money. And I think that's a big thing that we could all talk about in regards to like the lack of financial literacy.
Yeah,
Black
self-investment,
community.
savings, all that.
Yeah, so yeah, savings and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'll definitely say that, and I'll give my personal experience when it comes to like working in the, as an entrepreneur. There are, and why I say it's not for everybody. There were times where I had a plan, and because of a certain vendor, my plan didn't go through, right? And that could result in a loss of hundreds or even thousands of dollars, right? And that right there is stress. Because if you're someone that is relying on income to support your family or your household or your needs or whatever the case may be, not losing money is, even if you have the money, losing money is a horrible feeling, right? So if you're losing money, it's going to burn. And it's going to put you in a mental space where not everybody is strong enough to come back from, right? So for instance, if you lose, I'm not going to tell you how much I lost, but let's say you lost, let me ask you guys a question. If you guys lost $9,000 right now, would that burn you?
It would definitely put a dent.
$9,000 ain't burning you.
Lost it how? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
It's gone.
It's just
gone?
gone.
Oh, yeah.
Based off of someone else's mistake, not yours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
You know what
right.
I'm saying? So
100%.
that's what I'm trying to say is if you are dealing with vendors, right, in entrepreneurship, and if you're dealing with the product space, which I am, if something messes up and it's not your fault, and under contract, you lose that money, you're screwed. There's nothing you can do. But as an entrepreneur, you have to find the willpower and the energy to move past that. Right? It's a hurdle that if you do not hop over, your ass is going to go back to the 9 to 5. And I'm not going to knock people that are doing 9 to 5 because I still work a 9 to 5 because I use that to finance my entrepreneurship endeavors. Because if you don't have that capital, you can't get there, right? Not everybody can do the Dame Dash route and have that money, which came from unquestionable sources, to support what your future endeavors may be, right? So people have to realize that you can learn the skill, but it's not the skill that I'm actually talking about. I'm talking about the emotional strength to actually bear through those dark times.
Yeah,
because
the
if
drive.
I tell you right now, you think a job interview is stressful and stuff like that, running a company is beyond that, because there's so many stuff outside of your control that you cannot stop that's going to F you up. And you're going to be like, fuck, do I quit or do I go on? And that's what makes an entrepreneur compared to just a regular person that's trying to be an entrepreneur. They see the hardship, they get through the hardship. Or they see the hardship and they say, you know what, let me go back to my 9 to 5 because every 2 weeks I'm going to get a paycheck. Got my benefit, I can get my dental and my prescription drugs. And all I really got to do is sit there and hear a 1-2 task from my manager and take care of it. I'll deal with the stress just to get the paycheck. Where people are like, I can't really live like that for the rest of my life, so I'm going to try the entrepreneurship route. That's where I see is one of the big reasons why not everybody's built for it, because not everybody's built to be a sniper. Not everybody's built to be a LeBron James. Not everybody's built to be in politics, right? You do have the skills and the brain power to know the information of it, but to actually deal with it is two separate things.
And it's the easiest time now to become an entrepreneur. Like
social media online
with the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the thinking about when we were growing up as kids? What are some of the money lessons that you've learned or you wish you were taught in the past?
Can I say not wish we were taught? Let's go back to you're talking about the stuff that you learned. We were taught, and I could say probably majority of the Caribbean families.
Mm-hmm.
Get a job, get a house, you're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? We were not taught about investing,
Interest.
Right.
taxes.
Yeah.
I have a different but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, but that's why I said majority. That's why I said
You're
majority,
right,
right?
You're right.
A lot of times people think getting a house and a car is the end game.
Mm-hmm.
Not the end game, right? I'll just leave you with that is not the end game.
Yeah. You guys, you two are the same?
Yeah, same, yeah.
Yeah, and I was taught about getting a job, get a career,
Yeah.
a house and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
I wasn't taught about entrepreneurship. That was something I had to learn on my own, And like for me personally, the way how I learned about entrepreneurship, like the benefits of entrepreneurship was like straight up, it was like weed. It was a weed thing. You know what I mean? Like I was selling weed and then I was looking at the money in my hand. I'm like, hold on. You know what I mean? Like boom, I have to use this a certain amount to reinvest.
Right.
Wow, this is the profits. You know what I mean?
Re-up.
You know what I mean? Pretty much, yeah, exactly. Re-up money. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that was pretty much my first, I guess, taste of entrepreneurship.
Right.
Right.
But my question is, when you were doing that type of lifestyle, it wasn't even introduced to you as an entrepreneurship. You had to like figure that out on your own.
Right.
And probably to the point where it was when you're probably leaving that space where you're like, man, I was really running a damn business.
Reggie, listen, when I looked at the money in my hand, like, cause them times I was in high school, and I didn't have that particular moment. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a particular job at that time, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that I was able to make this income, and pretty much to the point where all certain gal was coming up to me like, yo, do you have a job? Or you know what I mean? They ask me certain questions. I'm like, yo,
these Jordans from?
Like, yo, how you wait? Like them time man bought dog, the dog tag, and you know what I mean? like, yo, where you getting? I was like, but pretty much it got me to the point where I understood, like, hold on, like that was like my first taste of real entrepreneurship. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it wasn't like nothing in depth in regards to, the whole financial literacy thing. But I remember when I got my job, my first, I guess, corporate job, I remember my mom basically dragging me to the bank to go open up like an RSP and said, listen, a certain amount of your paycheck every 2 weeks needs to be going into this.
Right.
And that's it. She never told me what to invest in. She never told me, buy Apple stock or anything like that. But she said, listen, a certain percentage of your paycheck every time automatically needs to coming into this. And that's actually one of the things that I'm grateful for, because that's something that stuck with me all up to now. Like every paycheck.
It's in your DNA right now.
Yeah, it's in my DNA. Every paycheck, there's a certain amount that comes out. Like now I've conditioned myself to live off a certain amount of money. And it's putting me in a decent financial position. Right. So I just wish more of people in our community had that same sort of kind of conversation. Again, it doesn't even have to be something in depth. if it could be more in depth in regards to, listen, you need to learn about, how to trade, how to do day trading, or how to invest in the market or whatnot, I think we would be all in a better financial situation.
And I think it's good that we're actually educated on that now, because when we have kids now,
absolutely.
Because my parents, they didn't pull me aside and say, here, this is where you need to put your money.
Right.
I just learned from them working hard and being able to pay bills.
Right.
But,
which is that's a big thing to learn too.
Yeah,
right?
But the thing is like, when they're gone now, nothing's coming down to me because they didn't really invest in anything, right? So I want to be in a position now where I can actually have something, and when I'm gone, pass it down to my kids.
Pass on your legacy.
So on and so forth,
Gotcha.
right? So what I'm pretty much tapping into is generational wealth. So had I been taught that from beginning, like I was saying earlier, I would have been able to own properties right now, like no problem.
Right.
And then whatever the money that I make from that, invest it into my whatever business. I'm gone now. Business is going to my kids now.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. Like with my mom, she was a hard worker, 100%. Like I never seen anybody work as hard as she has, and that's just my experience. But it's like she could only pass on so much information that she knows, right? So when she came from Jamaica, came here as a by herself, living with family, trying to work, doing remedial jobs just to make it by, finally getting a job, having her first kid, then having her second kid, then 7 years later having her third kid. All she knew was, this is what I got to do. I got to work hard, pay these bills, buy a house, and hopefully leave something for them. I'm 100% grateful for that, and I love her for that, or whatever the case may be. What we need to do we need to take it to the next level, right? One thing Riley has always been pushing every time we have conversation about generational wealth is what?
Life insurance.
Big thing.
Right.
Not many black people understand. That's an investment.
Right.
Investment doesn't only stop at stocks, right? Investment means you invest your money for the betterment of your future and your generations after you, right?
Yeah.
So for instance, if, God forbid, somebody has kids and they pass away today, is your funeral taken care of?
How many times we see GoFundMe's for somebody who passed away because they don't have enough money for the
funeral?
Funeral expenses. Funeral expenses like 10, 15 grand.
You
don't have that. If you don't have that type of money, like that, come on.
And it's a good thing to say that, do you not have that money in your account, but did you not have $18 a month so that your people that you love don't have to deal with that type of issue? Because if you look at it, when he's saying someone's putting up a GoFundMe to get buried, that's kind of sad if you actually look at it, right? You're basically saying, we don't have enough money to bury this person. Can you help?
Listen, anybody that has children, you should have life insurance. Plain and simple. It's as simple as that. It's not expensive. It's really not hard to get if you're in good. If you have no medical conditions, you're in half decent shape, you could get it on the spot. Nobody, and again, this is something that we don't talk about a lot in our community. It's that generational wealth. Our parents came from the West Indies, right?
Slaves, man. They came from slaves.
Yeah, they came from the Caribbean, right? So they went through the hardship to put us all in a pretty decent position, right? So it's up to us to take that baton and take it, like you said, to that next level.
Yeah.
And then again, but I see a lot of times where we're slacking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I'm seeing people in our generation that have less than our parents. You know what I mean? Or they're not setting themselves up to have more than our parents did.
Yeah,
right.
And that's no that's no blame on the parents. They did everything that they could. You know what I mean? They went through the grind in regards to working 2 jobs to make sure that they could put food on the table and a roof over our head.
Yeah.
But what were we doing with those opportunities when we were growing up, right?
Pissing it away.
And I think with us now is like there's no excuse not to do that, because
Absolutely not.
we have a lot more resources that are more accessible to us, whereas
Absolutely.
back then they didn't really have that.
For sure.
They just had to work really, really, really hard just to make
That's
ends
it.
meet, whereas we still have to work hard, but we have these other resources where we can actually do a lot better, we're a lot better off than our parents are. It's just a matter of knowing what you're doing, what you're investing in, and what your purpose is.
I think a lot of people are just not willing to make the sacrifices.
You have to. Your parents made it, so why not you do it now? Because if you, like you guys were saying, if you have kids.
Well, I guess that's one of the things too, right? I think the generation that came from, and I'm purely speaking on the Caribbean immigrants that came over to Canada and have kids, we lost that sense of embetterment of the next generation, right? So if you're telling me that your parents came over from Jamaica or any Caribbean island or even Africa or whatever the case may be, and they bust their ass doing the most mundane job or the most degrading job so that you have a better life, what are you doing to honor your ancestors to make sure that your generation, the one that you're going to be producing, has that they move to the next step, right? Instead of just moving to sometimes, like you said, backwards.
Mm-hmm.
When people piss it away, or some people don't even make any progress. They're just thinking the same way. Let me get a house. We're done. I've made it in life.
Or they're not even getting that. Right?
Not even getting
that at this point, right?
Some people they waste all their money to buy material things so they could look like they're rich.
Right.
Which is, to me, is one of the saddest things out there. And the one thing when we talk about investment, people just don't understand. Listen, investment just does not mean investing in stocks only.
Right.
Stocks is a great way to make money, but make sure that you understand how that works. Make sure you do your background checks. Make sure you understand the best companies you can work with to delay the trade, and also for trading fees. Which companies are actually doing things in the market that actually increases the stocks, et cetera, et cetera. But what else is there to invest in? Property.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, it's going to be harder to invest in property now, but if you think it's going to get any easier, that's a gamble to take. The betterment of your life. Education is an investment.
That's the biggest thing.
Right? I'm not saying that everybody should go to college or university.
No.
But I say for myself, I'm not a stupid person. I'm actually intelligent. I'm very quick on my feet. He's laughing. He's like, this nigga stupid.
Debatable.
Stroking his ego. Yeah.
I'm not stroking my ego. I'm just saying I'm not a formally educated person. Like my grammar's not on top notch.
You're street smart, basically.
I understand. I can see things and decipher it so it makes sense to me, so I can move in that freely.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went to college and university, it opened my mind in a different avenue. I didn't say it elevated my mind, but it increased the breadth of my knowledge, right? It's not like, oh my God, it's now just the hustle mentality to survival, the street mentality. It's now, okay, this is how you operate in a boardroom. Oh, here's how you operate it when it comes to legal fees or legal contracts, et cetera, et cetera. This is how you deal with, B2B on a B2B aspect, right? Investing in your education is an investment, right? Investing in the betterment of getting life insurance so your family doesn't have to worry about that cost is an investment, right? So people have to understand that it's not just stocks and bonds and stuff like that. It's how you invest in your life so that your future is better and that the people, your generation after you, is more set up better than how you were set up by your parents, because your parents did a good job because you're here, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what about you when it comes to investment? What do you think are the main things for investment?
Main thing for investments is making sure that whatever is bringing you financial growth, you're maintaining that.
Listen, man, let's take out the kid glove. Listen, if you're broke, that's a fucking you issue, man.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you should be broke in today's day. There's jobs out there. Okay, today's day may be a little bit different, sorry, because of COVID.
It's like, that's quarantine, sir. I ain't got no job,
the COVID
man.
situation is a little bit different. But outside of that, the really issue, if you got to work two jobs, you got to work two jobs. You got to make the sacrifice. What you're doing with your money is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Like you said,
you got to be smart
about,
with it.
Yeah, it's about investing time to learn a certain skill.
Yeah.
I didn't learn about financial literacy by going to school for it or anything. All I did was I always used to see like little memes on Instagram and stuff like that. Johnny invests $200 from 25 to 40, and that's all he invests, and he has whatever amount by 65. This guy does it at 30 and invests double the amount, but doesn't have the same. So it piqued my interest. You go on YouTube University, man.
Yep.
Everything that you need is going to be on YouTube. Watch videos. It is not that complex. You just got to put the time in. You got to put the time in, try to, go in there with an open mind and really just go in there to learn. But listen, I don't want to hear the white man is the reason why I'm broke.
Can't use that excuse no more.
I don't want to hear my parents is the reason why I'm broke. My job's not paying me enough. Your job's not paying you for enough. Get another job go work. I mean, quit that job, get another job, or work 2 jobs, or you know what I mean? Like, swallow your pride, do whatever you have to do, make the sacrifices that you have to make, and get shit done. Because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna be crying for you.
Listen, people outside of your household will criticize you, but they'll never help you in your household.
Listen.
So this girl I know, she has a great job, and she told me the other day she's doing Uber Eats.
Right.
There's no shame in that.
No shame.
Because why? I was just sitting there doing nothing on my couch, but she out there making money.
Right.
I can't say shit about, oh my God, you're delivering food to people. Right. Yeah. What? You getting money in your pocket.
Right.
So you can do stuff, make your life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You can't, there's no shame in that, man.
How many times the men them used to say, yo, I stopped working 2 jobs because, you know, you don't need to. 1 job is good enough. But
no, you're killing yourself, bro. We say don't work 2 jobs because just to make it clear, he's a workaholic. This man will work 7 days straight with 3 hours sleep. I'm like, bro, you're gonna die. And he's sitting there like, I'm content, I can breathe.
With that being said, though, make sure you have a plan, right? Don't just be working.
Set goals, yeah.
Set goals, man. If your goal is to, you know, retire by the age of 40, do the research in regards to what it's going to take. Because it, trust me, I'm telling you right now, it is possible. I guarantee you I will not be working past
because that's what
45 max if I don't want to. I'll have the point. I'll be at the point where I could be, maybe like 45, even earlier than that, where I could say, you know what? If I want to work, I will work. Or if I want to work part-time, I'll work part-time. But I could buy my freedom, my time.
Let me shed some light on that for people that didn't really catch what he just said, which was actually bars. It was bars, man. It's bars. I'm giving you shout-outs, man.
Get out my pockets, man.
If you
I say nothing.
Don't plan.
Oh, yeah, that part.
Fuck off. Okay. Niggas like, no, don't put me on the bus. Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
If you don't plan, you have no goals.
Right.
Yeah.
All you have are dreams.
Right.
Right? This is not I have a dream type of world that we live in. It's let me plan, and there's an end target at it.
Get it done.
And then when you get there, make another fucking plan, and then get to that plan. Because those are just steps into your life until the day that you die. And then your kids or your generation after you will take on that mantle, and hopefully they'll continue on it. But if you don't have a plan, then guess what? You're working not till 65. You're working till you're dead. Because there's people out there that are working. You see them at Walmart. 72-year-old man. Can I check your receipts? Did you pay for that water? Yeah, I fucking pay for the fucking water. Hey, man, listen.
And some of them want to work there just
some of them want to work
for the time. But
I'm not shading old people. I'm saying there's people out there that
they enjoy
have
it
to
just
work.
There are people out there
that have to work. And there's some people that just need it to do to occupy their time. But you rather be the person that's working this job after the age of retirement because you just have nothing else to do and you want to keep occupied
because you didn't have
instead
a
of
plan.
someone that needs that paycheck at the age. Imagine your age is 75 years old and you need that $800 paycheck to live. If not, you're done.
No, that's why.
Yeah, that's tough.
So when I say what he said was facts and bars, you got to make plans and you got to. And I'll tell if you're not really used to setting plans and targets and goals, make small ones. You want to lose 10 pounds or gain 10 pounds. Set that goal, put a date to it, and put some actionable items on it, and then achieve it.
Yeah.
And again, if you don't know how to do those things, don't try to figure it out on your own.
Talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody. Go on YouTube.
Comment on this podcast.
Yeah.
Duke will talk to you.
There you go.
I was basically, because I pretty much embraced that idea too, because before then, I didn't really have the luxury to travel like how you guys used to be able to, right?
Hater, man.
No, I'm just saying no, because I was embracing that idea in terms of like making sure you were saving enough.
Absolutely.
Because now I'm in a position where a 9-to-5 is cool, but I don't rely so much on a 9-to-5 anymore because now I have the back end money where I can buy whatever I want now and not having to think, okay, am I spending too much?
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So before then, I had to sit my ass down
calculate.
And I don't like living that way. So that's why I always have as many sources of income open at once.
He was spending on our trip, so he's
that's
definitely
what I'm saying.
His pockets are deep. He definitely spent the most out of all of us.
Yo, Duke is an undercover bank bro, man.
Man was steady at the ATM.
Man's like, yo, man, I got money. Don't worry about that. You need something? You need a little something? I got the bottles tonight. I'm like, okay, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, so and I feel more comfortable that way because it's like now I don't feel like I have to bust my ass to elevate another company where I can elevate my own shit now
Right.
and make as much money as I want.
Or
Mhm.
you don't have to worry about putting your ass in debt just to live a life.
That too as well,
Oh,
because
man.
I was in debt
Even
back
talk
then
about
too.
that. Shoot.
That's probably another topic, but if you want to talk about a little bit about it now.
Let me
Talking
tell-
about credit too.
Yeah. So, oh man, debt. So I could tell you again, debt. So for the young folks out there, old folks, whatever, please try to avoid any sort of debt whatsoever. Like they say, you have good debt, bad debt. You know, good debt being such things like a mortgage, things like that. Bad debt being, line of credit, depending on what you use that money for in regards to the line of credit.
Yep.
Credit cards, though, please try to avoid credit cards as much as possible. Try to avoid financing, a brand new car. I personal experience. I got into a car accident. I had a Honda Civic and got into it's fully paid off for. Man, just paid it off. I was so happy, man, got into a car accident. Dumbest thing I could ever done was go buy like an expensive car. My car payments monthly were like $800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was, and I tried to just pay it off as quickly as possible because it was just a burden, So try to avoid unnecessary expenses, man, because it will hinder your progress and your growth to financial independence and again buying your own time back. So avoid debt. If you're in debt, I'm telling you right now, for personal experience, you can get out of it. I was in $30,000 debt for like credit card and line of credit, and
damn,
yeah, I didn't even know what it wasn't even like I was a man that was buying here Gucci stuff and chains and I don't even know where that money even went to.
Where are you spending your money on?
I have no clue. I don't want to dig
Woke
it.
up one day with a bill.
I don't want to dig up those old cobwebs or anything like that.
Right,
but
right.
Closet stay closed.
yeah, closet stay cold. But you have to. You can't keep sweeping it under the rug, which was something that I was doing in the past. You gotta just
and have good credit
focus on
too.
it. Well, credit's what, in the 800s right now.
Oh, high
You know
hundreds,
how
man.
it goes.
High
So.
hundreds.
And that's important when you're looking for things like interest rates and loans and stuff like that. So stay out of debt, guys. Maybe in a different conversation we could talk about it more in depth.
Yeah.
But try to avoid debt at all costs. But yeah, let's wrap this up, man.
All right, perfect, man. Well, in closing, guys, like we say, right, 9 to 5 in entrepreneurship is what it is, right? It's either you're for one or you're for both or you're for the other one, right? But not everybody is for the 9 to 5 and not everybody is for entrepreneurship. Find your lane, but find it correctly and find it right and do it right. And when it comes to investing, it's not just stocks, guys. It's investment. It just means you're investing into the betterment of your future and your future generations, right? So it's not just stocks. It's also talking about life insurance. We're also talking about property.
Your
We're also
health.
talking about your health, which, man, if you'd have said that earlier,
I
I could have
Next
dragged
time.
that on for like 30 minutes
Next
easy,
time,
right?
next time.
But also your mind, right? You want to make sure that you're investing in the proper education to do what you would like to do, right? And investing into things that you want to do actually when you're an adult. So if you want to be a veterinarian, you want to be a zoologist, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a carpenter, it doesn't matter. If you like to do it, then make sure you're investing in the right avenues to actually do that, right? But besides that, guys, make sure that you stay out of bad debt. Good debt is good, but make sure that you're not just, spending all your goddamn credit on Gucci, which don't give a fuck about black people, to be honest, right? So that's all I got to say. Anything else you guys got to say?
Nah, let's get out of here.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to another podcast from the Certified Vets. Follow our social media at
Riley. Oh, sorry. So what?
No. You want to plug your social
No,
media?
I thought you were saying my name. No, follow us. It's Certified Vets Podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Perfect. And my name is Riley. My name is T.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, what kind of slizzard right now?
Yeah,
We've been
that weird
drinking.
nephew started touching me a little bit, but my name is T.
Riley.
And you're speaking. This is Duke.
And John the Tech Man.
Thank you very much for your time and listening. Comment, because we definitely would reply, and have yourself an amazing time.
Adios.
Peace.